Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Salam Media. I'm your host, Takir Dawood. And yes, it is 5-1, but for an international rugby player, we have to make sure that we override and give her the credit that she deserves. Um, Next up, we're going to be joined by Insaaf Levy, who's an international rugby player and a medical student for that matter. She has an expansive history in touch rugby, having won a couple of World Cups under the belt. Um, She's been in the setup for the South African national team, going to the African Cup last year, and currently in the Western Province women's rugby team that is playing in the Premier Division at the moment. Assalamu alaikum, Insaf. Shukran for joining us this afternoon, and Ramadan Mubarak to you and your family.
Assalamu alaikum. Happy to be here. Shukran for having me.
Insaf, such a pleasure having you on the show. How's the body feeling? A tough game yesterday, but you again serving bullets from the deck.
Yeah, I'm a bit sore now today, but getting my recovery in, stretching and stuff to get ready for tomorrow.
Insaf, a extensive rugby career that you do have. Your love for rugby, where did it all start?
I think I started playing touch rugby, obviously, like you said, and through touch rugby, got introduced to rugby, and just when I transferred over, transferring the skills of passing, catching, space creation, stuff like that. Um, I think that's where it came from.
Was it a tough transition for you moving over from touch rugby the the
Okay.
full contact rugby?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of an adjustment. Obviously, like I said, the passing, catching, space creation, that's very similar. But the rules are quite a bit different. So getting to know the different rules, getting to know my role on the field, that was a bit different. Took a bit of time to adjust, but I think I've figured it out now.
I mean, you've been fortunate enough to travel across the globe for the game. Just running through your touch rugby career, you've played across the globe. You've played with many players now that's currently on the Seventh Circuit. Tell
Oh
us just
yeah.
a bit more about your touch rugby career and when did you grasp it fully? Because as many of us, or many athletes for that matter, when they start out as kids, it's basically trying the sport, and then next thing you find yourself in a national team, and now traveling across the globe for South Africa, representing the touch rugby team.
So I started playing touch very young. Like my family's very involved. Everyone in the area plays touch rugby. So I don't even know how. I think I was 10 when I played my first like provincial tournament for touch. Then just kind of played club provincial, and then in 2018 when I was in grade 11, I had the opportunity to go to the Youth World Cup. Um, so I captained the under 18 side there. We went to Malaysia. Um, for the Youth World Cup, and that was really cool because a lot of the under 18 girls and under 20 girls who played for New Zealand and Australia at that time, I think it was like by the next year they were on the Seventh Circuit because their pathways are like really good, getting them from touch to rugby. And then 2019 Senior World Cup for touch. And then obviously COVID was a bit of a break, and then 2024 was my last World Cup for touch, which was in England, Nottingham. Yeah.
And if you have to look at it, what was one of your most memorable World Cups in the touch rugby space?
I look the senior ones are tougher because you just learn so much because it's just a high level. But the junior one was really fun because you were playing with people your own age. The tour was fun. Um, yeah, I just really enjoyed Malaysia. It was really fun for me.
And tell us a bit about playing with your sister. I mean, that's something that many people don't get to do frequently. I mean, if you look on the rugby side of things, there's very few brothers that actually play in the same team. I mean, if you look at the likes of a Vincent and Emmanuel Chatuka, I can't even think of more at the moment. But what is that like playing with your sister?
Yeah, I also think of the Hendrikse brothers at the
Ah,
Sharks at the
yes,
moment.
that's correct.
The
Even in the
19
Springbok
combo.
team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, she's quite a bit younger than me, so we didn't do, she was like under 15 when I was under 19, but when she got like 16, 17, and she joined the senior team. She could have actually been a bit younger. Um, we were playing touch together, and that was really fun. We haven't played rugby together yet, but I'm hoping soon. She plays fly off and I play scrum off, so hopefully we can play together soon.
How's that for halfback combination? Very similar to
Yeah,
the Hendrickson brothers, Jordan,
yeah,
Jaden, 9-10 combination. Could we see the
yeah.
same in the Levy household?
Hopefully soon.
I'm just talking about the Levy household. I mean, I'm sure that the chats around the dinner table must be so interesting. Um, you've got a professional rugby coach in a dad. You've got two sisters that are aspiring to be professional athletes, and a mom that's supportive. How does she
Mm.
balance everything?
Oh, my mom's really the glue that like holds us all together. I feel like when you said chat around the dinner table, I feel like our every night our conversation always ends up going to rugby, and then there's a bit of like a back and forth and an argument. And my mom's just like, please, like stop for 5 minutes. Like I just need peace and quiet. So I think that's where she draws the line. Like supper, like once it starts going to rugby, she's like, okay, stop now. Like please, let's talk about something else. Yeah.
Look, I'm sure the chats are getting more intense as it goes on from junior level to senior level
Definitely.
because we now have the Stormers that's currently in the URC running for a top 8 finish into the
Mhm.
quarterfinals. That chats are intense. You've got the Super League happening that you currently played in. Um, that tournament's getting intense. How much time or how do you draw the line between being being a student of the game and having a dad that's a coach and a mom that's a mentor to being the kid in the house at the same time? Do you take a lot personal?
That's a very tough question. I feel like, um, yeah, we're just always talking about like we were just like my dad will go from having like a normal conversation about literally anything else, and he'll think about like something he saw, and he'll just start speaking about it, and then the conversation just switches. So I don't think there is that clear boundary yet. I'm not sure if there ever will be, and I don't know if it's needed either. I feel like it's really helpful to just get um, a tip here and there, and just to keep talking about it. Like you're always learning.
And I mean, that's such an interesting point. And now, we can't touch on the household and not touch on the community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's so interesting to see that the community of Bokap is growing in the professional rugby spaces. I don't know if it's something in the water, something in the air. Maybe you guys are just a little bit higher up. But the likes of Hashim Pete, um,
Mm-hmm.
same position that you
Same
play,
road.
same road. I was leading to that. And explain to me what's happening in that road. Is there something we need to
Um,
know of?
I think, like you touched on, Bookup's a very rugby orientated community. Like Saturday, the roads are quiet, everyone's gone to go watch rugby, or they're in their house watching rugby. So I think it was kind of inevitable in the sense that, like, just supporting the kids who are wanting to take their rugby further. Um, yeah, it's just a rugby environment.
I can just imagine it must be crazy. And for you now playing at, let's say, not yet the highest level, if you want to call it that, because we'll call the national team the highest level, but having been in both setups, how do you find it and how do you see yourself adjusting to that?
I feel so do you mean Western Province Rugby and then
Yes,
the
from
SA
Western
Rugby?
Province into the SA Rugby team, and obviously taking that experience that you had at being with the national team back to the Western Province team.
I think that that opportunity for me, getting to train with the national team, was so valuable. I learned so much from the coaches, from the players, just how the setup works, how I can improve myself, and how I can do my job better on the field. And then obviously going back to Western Province, like I'm learning a lot there as well. But it's also a thing of I want to do so well now to, get back into that squad and that system again. Yeah.
And I mean, the possibilities are endless. We're coming out of a World Cup year now. We know that coaches are looking to look at their systems, relook at their systems, going into the new World Cup. We've seen that there's many players, obviously, that which naturally happens, that just fall out of the mix because of age and stuff like that. But there should be probably a smooth transition period looking at it going forward. Do you see is it one of the goals that you've set yourself for the future, to be at the next World Cup?
I think definitely. I think it is difficult because there are so many good players in the country. But I just need to work harder and like try my best to get into that squad. Yeah.
100%. And looking at that, what are some of the things that you work on your game when you not necessarily at training? Because I mean, we've seen your passes off the base, of the rucks from scrum time, set pieces, and it definitely can get any backline going on the front foot. How much emphasis do you place on those finer details of your game?
Yeah, so just talking about passing, like passing's been my main focus since I was much younger. Like my dad would be like, after supper, come, we're passing 500 balls now, left and right, and then you can go do what you want. Um, but I think besides passing, just watching rugby, watching other scrum offs. Obviously, everyone plays quite differently, so seeing what I can get from different scrum offs. Seeing, obviously, as a scrum off, you have to control the play a bit, so finding different ways that I can do that better. I think those are the finer details that I need to, or that I try to learn off the field.
Is there a scrum off that you look up to or you aspire to be, whether in the men's side of things or the women's side of the game?
I think obviously we can't talk about scrum offs and not talk about like the great Anton DuPont or like an Adam Smith or something like that. But if I think locally, like a scrum off that I really love the way she plays is Felicia Jacobs. She's played scrum off for our national team. She got a few caps. And I've been lucky enough to play touch with her a few times. But I really love the way she plays rugby.
And just looking at that, and then obviously you can emulate your game around that. With South African rugby, women's rugby, in such a tightly knit community, it's probably amazing to have just conversations with her and chat to her about how you want to
Mm.
structure your game and build your game around it. I mean, we've seen it in the men's side of things now with the junior scrum offs coming straight from that's an amazing picture. Do you want to tell us a bit more about the picture that's currently on screen, please, before we touch on
Oh,
anything else?
so this was, oh, that's such a funny picture. This was the under 18 Youth World Cup that I was telling you about earlier. We were doing a coin toss, and then that's the New Zealand captain. That's me in Paul. She's currently playing on the Seventh Circuit at the moment for the New Zealand team. Yeah, which is really cool.
I mean, we've chatted about 15s rugby, but look at, I mean, touch rugby, the skill set, the space that you get in touch rugby, it's just a natural transition into sevens. Do you see yourself in the seven setup? I mean, you've got the pace, the power, the passing.
So I've played sevens a bit for my university, and I really did enjoy it. Um, Obviously, playing sevens for the national or for anyone would be such an opportunity. And I do enjoy playing sevens. So yeah, who knows?
You spoke about university, and it's such an important point, especially for a professional athlete in today's day and age, where we know that as a professional athlete, your career span is never promised. You could
Hmm.
be the hottest thing in professional sports, but tomorrow, due to an injury or something happening, you could be out of the game completely. How do you look to set yourself up outside of rugby?
I think something that's like important to know is that when you're in the provincial setup, like as a woman in rugby, it's not it's not professional. Like I couldn't call this my job yet. The system just doesn't allow it. Um, so I need to have a day job to um, support myself. It's not like the boys who are playing for province who are on contracts. Um, so it was kind of like after high school, like I had to study something. I really enjoyed biology. I enjoyed what medicine was presenting. So chose medicine. And yeah, I'm really enjoying studying that as well. And almost being done now.
Tell us a bit about that. You know, no disrespect to any other degrees or field of studies, but medicine takes the most time, and it's one of the most complicated things to study as a full-time athlete, because there's no such thing as a part-time athlete, if you want to call it
Yeah.
that. It's always trainers, always extras. Then you're doing reviews, then you're doing previews. It just never ends. Going down the
I
medical field, was this your first choice?
Yes, it was because so in Matric I was sort of like it's either medicine, like you're gonna commit and make that choice, or you're gonna go into like another route and maybe change from one course to another course. But when I was doing more research, when applying, I was like, no, I really think medicine is for me. I maybe don't want to work in an office environment. Um, I enjoy, like I said, studying biology, learning about those systems. But also, I think it's a very, like, it's a job of service, which is something that really speaks to me. So I think medicine was like my top choice, and alhamdulillah, I got in. Um, yeah, it has been tough to manage. I think in the earlier years, like when I didn't know how to balance the two well, I think I struggled a bit more. But I think now that I think 6 year I got my flow and now how to
Mm.
manage both easily, and now I'm almost done and I'm gonna have to change my flow again, but it is what it is.
Look, but it goes like that. And I mean, it's actually amazing because, like many former rugby players that have been doctors, the likes of a Yanni Duplessis and many more that we can refer to, that have been professional doctors. For you, looking now at the future, what would you say is some of your short-term goals that you want to look at getting for yourself?
I think right now I'm just focused on finishing finishing my degree and getting it done. My last exam is coming up now in March. So short term goal would be doing that, and then for rugby, like all my focus now is on IPL and just doing the best I can with that, and like trying to do my best for the team so that we can do well in this tournament. Yeah.
No, definitely, and I mean it's amazing, and we're going to be looking forward to your journey. Um, you know, I know we moved past the fact that we chatted a bit about your household, but just the fact that your late grandfather was a Western Province rugby coach and your uncle the president of Western Province Rugby, your dad being the coach, the lineage just runs deep. Do you think that your career or your path was set out before you actually managed to walk the path?
Mm. Um, I don't think it was set out. I feel like if I didn't choose to do rugby, I wouldn't be like they wouldn't be upset with me. I think I just it was like gently hinted at you want to start playing rugby, and then once I myself was like, okay, no, I do want to take this and do this. I was obviously really supported, which was helpful. And yeah, my late grandpa, he really also so passionate about rugby. Any chance he could get to talk about rugby, he would. Rugby always playing on the TV, always having little drawings of like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. So yeah, nothing but supportive and helpful.
Subtle and not so subtle, if you want to call it that.
Maybe.
It's often such a pleasure having you on the show today. I wish you all the best for the season ahead and good luck with your final year of your studies. And we're going to be following you on all of your social media platforms. And we want to follow your journey so that we can be up to date with everything happening in your life. Um, thank you so much for joining us on the show this afternoon. And we definitely look forward to hearing from you soon.
Shukran so much for having me. Shukran.
Afwan, that was Insaaf Levy, who is a medical student and an international rugby player. It was such an interesting story hearing how she balances the two, professional, let's call it semi-professional rugby, and being a full-time medical student at the same time. But from myself, Zakir Dawood, it's been a pleasure being back on your airwaves and being back on air. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be back with some more stories to tell within the sporting fraternity. Shukran so much for tuning in. To the listeners of Salam Media, be sure to tune in next week, Sunday, same time, same place. And remember to follow Salam Media on all social media platforms. Share the current interview so that we can get the public knowing about all of these stories that we've just shared. From myself and the team here at the headquarters in Robert Sham, Johannesburg, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.